Dr. Huma Hassan, and now we'll start our series on lectures of NCERT. Okay. So in the previous lectures, I have covered subtopics of chapter 1, where I have spoke about sociological imagination, and also I have spoke about sociological thinking, and then further I have explained how you people have to quote Peter Berger, and then how sociology is not common sense. So what is common sense? What is sociology? All that I have explained. Okay. Now what we have to learn? We do have to learn how intellectuals have led to the emergence of sociology. So this is a paragraph. Okay, the intellectual ideas that went into the making of sociology. Now you can see here that the first thinker which they are mentioning is of Auguste Comte. Right? Now, how do we have to understand Auguste Comte? We are not writing exam for class 11. Okay, we are reading this book so that it can help us to write and make solid base for your UPSC Sociology Optional. So that is what I am just trying to explain in my live classes, that how you people have to prepare yourself, in which you can do little bit of self research as well. So the moment you have got Peter Berger or Cyril Mills names in your, I would say in your NCERT, then it is but obvious that you should do little bit of research. Okay, and please read the content. Okay, if it is possible, read from the book, and not from the book which is like there for not from the book which is right there to promote UPSC textbooks. Okay, so there are lot many books. Aspirants are buying it blindly. It's just because some topper had recommended that book or written that book. Okay, so you need to read originals. Okay, for example, you can read Introduction to Sociology from George Ritzer. You can read about Dillon. You can read about Amir का भी work है. So Jonathan का work है. So there are lot many good work. In fact, if you just want to understand sociology in general, so don't go for these books, okay, which is available, and don't go for the YouTubers. Like there are lot many classes you will see, and you might think that आपको उससे clarity आ रही है. No, आपको यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा common sense apply करना है. You just have to apply little bit of common sense, that you can even understand Auguste Comte without buying any book. Okay, you can read good journals. It is available on internet for free of cost. I'm asking you to read good content. Now let me see how you people are going to proceed with this types of explanation and suggestions. Okay, if you people have any doubt, please write in your comment. Okay, and I would say that how you people are going to get benefited by these classes if you will be consistent. तो आपको consistent होना बहुत जरूरी है. Now in today's class I am explaining very important dimension, that is how you people have to go about to learn about thinkers. So for instance, it is Auguste Comte, right? So here you can make the notes like this. Okay, so Auguste Comte, time frame is very important. I am emphasizing on time frame. So because it will tell you something. So he was born in 1798 and then died in 1857. So you can say it is talking about late 18th century and mid 19th century. So what was happening during this phase in that period? Okay, what was happening where he was born? So he was French. So what was happening in France? Okay, because see, I am a product of my time. So my ideas are shaped by my surroundings. So it is very important to know in which time period I was born, what was happening there in the environment, what was the atmosphere. That is what sociology is. Okay, so the major debate in sociology is about individual and society. So what I think, how I think, whatever the aspects I am facing, why am I facing, so all this critical dimension, it gets developed because of societal surroundings. Okay, so whensoever you people are referring to any thinkers, try to understand that time zones. Okay, so That is what I am explaining, the time phase. Okay, कि आप लोगों को time phase समझना है. And then in deeper classes I will explain that how you can understand about the same thinker from macro to micro. Okay, so macro is time frame. You should be knowing generally. UPSC ने GS1 में क्वेश्चन पूछा था with respect to the relevance or sometimes in mid 18th century. ओके, सो 18th सेंचुरी का रेलेवेंस क्या है? 18th सेंचुरी बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है, मिड 18th सेंचुरी इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर overall to understand overall social changes, political and economical changes in the world. Okay, so you can see that is a micro point. Now from macro you should move to micro. Now in micro, if you are going and see what was happening, so the time period here is 1789. So what was happening? French Revolution hua. Okay, so you can say when he was born, 1798. Okay, 1798 and French Revolution 1789. So he was born shortly after that. So he saw the aftermath of chaos and disorder. And you would see that how Auguste Comte was precisely obsessed with social order. So all his work is reflecting that how sociologists, by using scientific methods, must endeavor for social stability, to have social coherence, social integration. He was really dissatisfied with social chaos which got disrupted because of French Revolution. Okay, so he was very much interested to know that how society emerged. एक बारी सोसाइटी में सोशल ऑर्डर बनता है तो व्हाई इट गॉट कोलैप्स, व्हाई इट डज चेंजेस. ओके, सो इस तरीके से आपको एक पॉइंट समझना है. तो यहाँ पे मैंने फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन का रेफरेंस दिया है क्योंकि यही पीरियड है जहाँ पे ऑगस्ट कॉम्टे वाज बोर्न. ओके, नाउ नेपोलियनिक एरा एंड रिस्टोरेशन. सो यहाँ पे आपको सोशियोलॉजिकल कॉन्टेक्स्ट में समझना है, ठीक है. It is not mentioned in your NCERT. Okay, let me just tell you, it is not mentioned in your NCERT. Anything. So I have to tell you something more which is not mentioned in your NCERT class 11, because Auguste Comte is very important classical sociologist. You need to understand his ideologies, because when you understand his ideology, then only you will understand positivism. Then the major debate between positivism and anti-positivism. So as I have said, it is so very important for all of you to understand Auguste Comte's period. So what was happening? French Revolution, disorder. Now you need to understand in a sociological context. So I had just emphasized on that how he was obsessed with social order, right? So Napoleonic era and restoration. Then what happened? We have got stability, followed chaos, desire for social order emerged. So this is something social, this is something socially we need to understand. So social changes, okay. So these are the two important factors which you can understand. Then sociology is always dealing on causes and effects. So it's cause and effects, okay. So after that, industrial revolution, rise of science, technology, capitalism, that reshaped society. So Auguste Comte have argued that how do we have to examine and understand society? So we do have to focus on social statics and social changes. So we can see that how industrial revolution, French Revolution initially, and then followed by a lot many other, small and major revolution, it brought massive social changes, particularly in Europe. Okay, so we can see that there was an influence of enlightenment, rationality, empiricism, and religious dogmatic philosophy got replaced by scientific temper. These all are social changes, and it is so very important for all of us to understand social changes when we are looking into the social aspects of sociology. Okay, so cause and effects later you would understand. Now you can see here I have written Comte's obsession with order and progress. So it was a response to the chaos of revolution and rapid social change. Okay, so sociology for Auguste Comte is about social statics and social dynamics. So he wanted to know that how social order establishes, and once it establishes itself, why does it change? Okay, so this is the core idea. So you people can just make the notes, it is already there. And in my later classes, I will explain more about Comte's central ideas. Okay, so he has reflected on the law of three stages: positivism, social statics, and social dynamics. What you people have to remember, right? Now I have given quite quite deeper explanation that how you people have to do self study. So once you understood that, okay, these are the thinkers which are mentioned in your chapters, so you do have to do little study. Okay, but that doesn't mean that you will follow anyone, you will take content whatsoever it is available. All you have to understand the time frame and their central idea. So what was social, economical, political condition in which that particular social thinker was born or died. So this is very general. Okay, so for that you do not have to buy any book. Okay, so please be aware of wasting your money. Now similarly you have to do same thing for Karl Marx, Herbert Spencer, and when you will do this you will understand that how it will going to create a solid route for your sociology optional without even taking classes from anywhere. Okay, you can build fundamentals very clear by NCERT reading. All you have to know the tricks. Okay, you have to just apply the common sense, do your rational hard work. You do not just have to be in euphoric sense. Don't do daydreaming. आपको सिर्फ समझना है कि अच्छा ठीक है ऑगस्ट कॉम्टे आपने पढ़ा तो आपको क्या टाइम फ्रेम करना है, एंड सिमिलर दैट यू कैन डू इट. तो आपके लिए होमवर्क है, you can just do little bit of your homework. Do same with Karl Marx and Herbert Spencer. Write down the time frame in which Karl Marx was writing. Write down the time frame for Herbert Spencer. Do understand what was happening socially, politically, economically, what was the religious dominance over there. So try to understand social structures. Okay, so that is a homework. And see, here they are explaining how society was moving. So there was a social change. Okay, now such an evolutionary vision assumed that the West was necessarily the most advanced and civilized. So while I was explaining about Auguste Comte, I did talk about Industrial Revolution, I did talk about French Revolution. So all this was it was bringing changes. Even here you can see that it is talking about 18th and 19th century. Okay, so 17th, so the movement of the late 17th and the 18th century, we can see what was happening at that period of time. Okay, so this was an important part in this paragraph. So this is a page number, it's a sixth paragraph and it's a page number 9. Okay, so here it is setting the stage that how sociology emerged. So here Darwin ideas about organic evolution. So here something very important, that is evolution paradigm. Okay, so the core point here is evolution. So while you would be understanding Herbert Spencer, you will see that Herbert Spencer is talking about that society is changing from simplicity to complexity. It is known as social Darwinism. That was a paradigm. Okay, so paradigm was that everything is becoming complex with in the process of evolution. Okay, so all thinkers, whether it was Karl Marx, Auguste Comte, Herbert Spencer, all these people are talking about the social changes. Now, how social changes are occurring in our society? It is moving from simplicity to complexity. Okay, so this is how you people have to delve into the core concepts. Okay, so evolution is a paradigm. When I am saying, it means that most of the sociologists or biologists, natural scientists, they all followed the paradigm of evolution in different streams. Okay, by having and using different perspectives. Karl Marx has used evolution, Emile Durkheim, Ferdinand Tönnies, everyone is talking about the changes in society from simplicity to complexity. That is what even mentioned by Herbert Spencer. Okay, so then it is talking about the Enlightenment. So Enlightenment was followed by Renaissance. Okay, that during Enlightenment, what happened? Religion or dogmatic orthodox opinion got replaced by rational scientific temper. Okay, so this is largely like there in your page number 9 and 10 and in this paragraph. So you would see that thinkers, okay, sociological thinkers or social thinkers were moved by these type of social changes. They got affected by social chaos led by Renaissance, से positive changes आए, then followed by enlightenment, then Renaissance and enlightenment brought political changes in the form of French Revolution, and then we have seen Industrial Revolution. So you can see that, you can see yourself that society was transforming, and it was not transforming only for good, it was bringing some social ills. So now social thinkers got really disappointed, thinking that during Renaissance phase, during Enlightenment phase, we were thinking that when we are going to replace religion and orthodox thinking with secular, enlightened views, rational views, there will be a prosperity. But it didn't happen like that. Okay, there were more problems. The poverty was like to the core. It was there to the next level. People were dying out of starvation. Famines were happening. There were a lot many diseases. People were working in very lethal conditions. It all actually brought again, shift in the changing patterns of social thinkers, because they were thinking that now, because of science advancement, technological advancement, there will be more prosperity. But it didn't happen. ऐसा कुछ नहीं हुआ. On the contrary, you would see there were lot many social problems and social ills. So now sociologists were thinking, intellectuals were arguing that what we should do. So they realized that we should have a discipline who is only studying about society in depth, who can suggest measures that how we can have positive attributes, okay, how we can bring solutions to the social problems led by the modernity. And this is your first topic in your optional paper: modernity, social changes in Europe, and the emergence of sociology. Okay, so in this particular topic, or 9 or 10 paragraph, we are talking about these important dimensions. I hope you people are genuinely getting benefit of reading